Hello and welcome. I am Snyder from Snyder's Sunshine Art Studio, where creativity shines. With over 20 plus years of public school teaching experience, I bring step-by-step art instruction and ready-to-use art lessons to spark creativity in students and offer art teachers a much-needed reprieve. So let's create something wonderful together. Hello, it's A.M. Snyder from Snyder's Sunshine Art Studio.com, where sunshine shines. Hello, it's A.M. Snyder from Snyder's Sunshine Art Studio, where creativity shines, and today we have the snake. Now, it is the beginning of February of 2025 as I am filming this, and I know that we have the knowledge of zodiac symbols in different cultures for that matter. And today I'm going to focus on the snake, which is a zodiac symbol from China. Each year they have an animal that rotates through 12, and this year is apparently a wood snake. Now I'm not too sure what that all means, but I do know that they have some very nice designs and patterns that are fun to draw, and that is where we're going to go with this. So I know that I researched some symbolism of snakes, and in different cultures, snakes are known to symbolize rebirth because they shed their skin, growth, as well as many cultures see them as a protector or healer because of their venom or the oils of their fat throughout history. And like I said, different cultures have different takes on how the snake is seen in that culture. At Christian belief, is the story that the snake is a deceiver and evil. So it depends on who you are and what you think of the snake. Now, I know that many people are fearful of the snake as well, which I think makes a lot of sense because they can, bite you, and that's not something we want, right? So let's draw our slithering snake here, and we will look at how to put some fun decorations on our snake's body to resemble the Chinese Zodiac symbol of the snake. And again, this resource is available at my Teachers Pay Teachers site, so you can visit Snyder's Sunshine Art Studio at the Teachers Pay Teachers, or you can visit my website, www.snydersunShineArtStudio.com, and see what you can find there. We are going to start with using our hand to make like the quack quack or the less than greater than symbol, and that's how we're going to start its head. Now, I have a red sheet of paper because in China, red is a color that symbolizes luck and life, joy, and happiness, and they use this color in a lot of their celebrations, especially the New Year. So we're going to use the red. Again, I'm going to put my hand at the lower left corner, and I'm going to cup it like so, making letter C in essence. And I'm going to put my pencil against my hand, and I'm going to draw inside of my hand here. That's going to give me a pencil line that might be quite difficult to see on the camera, but once I trace it, you'll see what I'm doing, okay? So I will trace it eventually here. Alright, so now I'm going to take that idea and I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to mark where my fingers are because I don't want to draw there. What I want to do is bring it up and do it here so that I'm making like that letter S. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I used it as a spacer, okay? Now I can bring the two together. Okay, and I'm going to do this on this side, and I want to make sure I leave the space needed as I go from this line to this line. And as I go up, it's going to get, this line that I'm drawing, it's going to get closer to this line. because snakes are known to get more narrow as they go back to their tails. And then I'm going to curve this end around and curve this end around, and it gets narrow. Okay, now I will use my marker so that you can see what I did. So again, this is where I cupped my hand, and I'm going to have its mouth open here. So I'm going to come in and open its mouth. And then I cupped it here, and then I connected the two. There we are. Okay, so now I'm going to take and give it a tongue. Yes, snakes are known to have that so-called forked tongue, or the split in their tongue. And I believe there's some folk stories about how that happened too, or little legends behind the tongue being that way. I know that Native Americans also have their own stories of snakes. So different people throughout the world have their own take on the story of a snake. I'm going to give it an eye. Use that almond shape. So I use some curves. And then I'm going to make it a fancy eyebrow. Okay. And then I'm going to draw a letter U, or a curve, and I'm going to block it out. There we go. And give it a nose hole. And I'm going to give the indication of a nose over here, and the same with this, where it's raised up. Okay. Now, here's the next part that would make sense. I should have brought this in a little right here. So when I look back at my original drawing, I have that dipped down to give it like a little part to its noggin, all right? But I didn't do that, and I'm going to leave it alone, but I want to point that out. It still looks fine. Now we're going to add some fun designs and make a little circle, bigger oval circle, medium, small. Okay. Now, here's how I have other lessons where I use the snake, and I always like to divide the sections and use patterns. So I would have section A, section B, section A, section B, section A, section B. And so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So whatever design I give on the first section, I'm going to repeat it to make a pattern. Pattern is made by the repetition of a set of elements of art that you organize. So elements of art, there are 7. Usually we talk about repeating line, shape, color, and space, line, shape, color, and space, line, shape, color, and space. And that creates our patterns that we use in our world. Alright, so I use this little banana crescent moon kind of shape to divide the snake. But I also have all of these designs that I found out on Google, I will admit to that, and then I drew them up onto my own idea sheet. Okay. So I am thinking of using this shape to divide this up. So that's my division, and now I'm going to take and I'm going to space it out, and I'm going to draw another one right here. space it out using my pincher fingers. Of course, it's going to get smaller. Okay, so now I have all these little sections. So whatever I do here, I'm going to repeat here and here. So design, skip, design, skip, design, skip. And I'm looking at my possible ideas here. I like this. I like all of them actually. So I'm thinking that along its belly here, that I may want to do something like that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to and then I'm going to turn my paper so I can do it over here. And you know what? We'll do it here. Okay. And now I need to do something in these spaces. Let's do a flower type thing here. And we can put a circle in the center. Alright, so now I have some of these empty spaces out here. And I tend not to like that kind of thing when there's empty space where I could design something. So I'm going to use this teardrop, raindrop shape. Okay, so now in this space I need something else. And I like this cloudy puff thing. So I'm going to do that. There's that. And now I'm going to repeat this flower. And it's going to go off to the side of the snake because that makes sense. And then I'm going to do the cloudy puff thing. Cloudy puff flower, cloudy puff flower. So you can see how part of it goes off of the snake's body, and that makes sense. Okay, now I have this empty space here that I want to fill in. And I am thinking of using this almond shape and then the curvy half circle or crescent moon, I guess. Alright. And then let's go and use, it's like a triple heart. I know it looks like one heart, but if I would continue it on the other side, it would be a triple heart. And we're just going to add that right there. Okay, now this particular lesson as a art teacher, if you're teaching this, you can allow your students to design their own patterns. They don't have to use what's on the sheet. And you might even have them brainstorm by coming up to a whiteboard and drawing out ideas for different shapes that they could use, or patterns or designs. And then students can pull from their own class collective brainstorming session. As a student watching this, you too could have your own designs. You too can go and research on Google what kinds of designs and motifs you could use to decorate your snake. Okay, so now that I did that, the nice thing about drawing on the red is that I don't need to color it red. It is red. So the one thing I would do is use gold paint now, because gold is well known to be with the Chinese color scheme here. But before I do that, there's all this empty space, and I want to do something fun with it as well. So I'm going to add some, I think, some grasses and flowers and things. So let's do that. Come up and add just to fill the space a little bit. And to carry out similar designs. So it looks like the snake is traveling through some area. Manipulate that one a little bit. Whoops. I got that one kind of squished in there. So it always is beneficial to start with a pencil, because then you can adjust as needed. I'm drawing directly with a Sharpie, so I can adjust. Okay, so now I'll get my gold paint and add some gold to it. Okay, I have a small brush, and I have my gold in the lid of my bottle of gold. Of course, as a teacher, you have to pour this out for your students. As a student, you just find your gold paint and go with it. And I'm going to paint this in here. If you don't want to use gold and you have white, white will work as well. If you ever go to a Chinese restaurant and you get like a placemat, you will find that it usually has those zodiac symbols on it, and they're red and white, or some off-white color. Alright, so I'm going to paint through this, and then I'll come back to you so you don't have to watch me paint. gold, and as I was painting, I realized that I forgot to put its fang on here. So let's add that to the front of it, because snakes, of course, are known for those fangs. As I mentioned at the beginning, they like to bite. Now, do I paint that gold? Do I leave it alone? I'm going to paint it gold. It has a gold fang. Now, how fun can that be? There we go. Now, as mentioned, if you don't want to use gold paint, you could use white paint, or if you don't have gold paint, you could use white paint. You could also use colored pencils. White colored pencil would show up well on these. So we have a white one here for you as well. Now, interestingly, these snakes, well, they are like the foundational idea of the Asian kind of dragons, the serpent-like bodies with the wings. Now, Western dragons have those wings, and I look forward to doing a video on drawing some dragons as well, because that's one of my specialties of drawing dragons. So stay tuned for that. Well, I have enjoyed working through our zodiac symbol of the snake for the year of 2025, and all the different patterns and designs. Once again, if you are a teacher, please open up the idea for students to brainstorm their own designs. And if you are a student